When you play music, the central focus really is sound. Music is sort of the organization of sound, of sonic experiences, impressions. So when you start playing an instrument, you should not forget that this is what it's about. It's a sonic art form. You listen, and a lot of instruction in how to learn an instrument focuses on the physical movements you do when you play. You know, teachers try to teach you, put your fingers here, do this and do that. That is not so important, because if you can hear the sound, you eventually will find a way to play it. If you start to think about, put your hands like this and like that, then you will not do it, because you will start to think too much about what your fingers are doing, and it becomes a sports event. It becomes physical. The idea of what is good sound then is very personal, and you need to understand and develop what your concept of a good sound is. So I cannot sit here and tell you that you should do this or you should sound like that, or I only know what makes me tick, what I like when I play, and how I produce the sound that makes me happy. In the search for this, wait, how do I say this? Yeah, in the search for the sound, you have to be very self-critical, and you have to again listen to what it is that you produce. And if the sound you're producing actually is the sound that you strive for, because our minds are very creative, our minds are very adjusting. So if you have something that comes close to what you want, then you will make up in your mind that it actually is happening. So a very good tool to use when you practice, when you try to get to where you want to get, is to record and listen back to what it sounds like from a listener's point of view. Because a player's point of view is very different, because you imagine the sound in your mind, and what you're doing is coming close to it, and it satisfies you. But the real test is when you step away from the head of being the creator of it to being the listener of the music that you make. And how fast you play something is really crucial here, because when you slow things down and you really focus on each note that you're playing, you really make sure that what you do sounds correct. Because it is much easier than you believe normally to play fast. Anybody can actually learn to play fast if you just sit and practice and practice and practice and practice. But fast is not going to sound good unless each note sounds good. It's very hard to play one good note, but the thing is that if you can't play one note that sounds really good, you can't play many notes that sound good. So let's take this to bass playing now, because this is what it's about. In this case, I'm a bass player, and probably you are a bass player as well. And there are many different ways of creating a sound on a bass. You have fingerstyle, tap and slap and pop and slop and whatever it's called. And some people play with a pick. And whatever whatever it is that you do to create a sound, you just have to focus very hard on making sure that the sound is clean, good, and whatever it is. But again, this is a matter of interpretation, because some people run their bass through an amp and it distorts and it basically sounds like an old beat-up tractor, or something like that. But if that is the sound ideal you have, that's good. If that's what you want, that's good. But it just has to be what it's supposed to be. I can take this a little further just by showing what I do, how I create sound. But again, this is personal. This is me. This is what I do. It's not necessarily what you do, but just as an example of how I go about. For instance, when I play fingerstyle, I use a lot of my fingers. I use the fingertips. I use these two fingers basically to play with. I don't use my ring finger and pinky, because for me to have the physical strength is important. And to do that, you have to have straight fingers. If you crook your fingers like this in order to make all the fingers come in a line, then you don't have the same strength. And strength is only about control. It's not about forcing the string or anything like that. It's just the more headroom, so to speak, you have from a strength perspective, the better control you have of sound. And actually, the force of the sound, the amount of volume, the amount of strength of the sound, comes from how much flesh you basically have under the string. And I don't know if you see this properly, but when I play, I actually have this much of the finger under the string, which basically is enough for me to pull the string off the bass if I want. Normally, I used to break a lot of strings in my earlier life. So basically, when I hit the string, I really want to make the string sound a lot, make a full sound that brings a long time if I want it to. And when it comes to fingerstyle playing, also the what you do with your left hand is infinitely important, because the same thing here. If you there's a school that's saying that you should play with your fingertips on top of the strings. This is not something I subscribe to too much, because it's good if you want to play fast runs and stuff. But if you want to get a tone, again, the more flesh you put behind, you hear the difference between this and this. And even more if I put my whole hand. And there's a logic to this, that the more you anchor the strings beginning at the fret to the body, which is the neck is the extension of the body. If you think about the whole instrument as a body, the cleaner vibration you get from the string, and the more transfer of sound you get from the instrument and from the string. Now, when it comes to the slap stuff, it's the same thing again. It's how clean your hit is, and if you listen to that note here, it's got a lot of sound. It's got a lot of bass. It's got a lot of tone, and that's the way I approach it. A lot of people who play slap and pop and stuff they're only focusing on the rhythmical aspect, on the clack 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 clack. I kind of want notes in there. I want a melodic aspect to the pop and stuff, and of course that also has to do with sound, because without sound you don't create the note, you just create the percussive sound. So that's about tone, and the slap part also is same thing again here, like with the finger style. I get a lot of finger under the string, so that when I pull, I get a very clean, very strong sound coming out. But most of all, I get control. It's not random when the note actually happens or when the string leaves the finger. It's very easy to time. And as I said, the key to doing this is doing it very slow and not being afraid to play one note for a long time and really listening to it, because I don't think about what happens with these guys. I don't think about what they do. I just listen for the sound it makes. And your body is a very sophisticated machine, and when the control center tries to achieve something, it knows what instructions to give to the physicality of your whole body. So you don't have to worry in an intellectual way what your fingers will do. But if you get the sound, I mean, it's sort of like if you drive a car, you don't think about how you turn the wheel. You just focus on the horizon and you go. And it's the same thing with music. You got to focus on the horizon, be in the sound, and then it will happen.